Hello there, this is Chris Assis, and today we're going to keep on working, keep on exploring the element of the embrace and how we can make it more comfortable, more effective, especially for leading and following, but at the same time, uh, smooth and giving that feel of a hug and allowing us to manage our relationship with our partner. Like I said in the previous video, which you can find right at the bottom as a link, we want to be able to fix and make sure that we feel comfortable in a certain managing our arms in relation to our chest before we get into practicing with our partner, or even more before we get to dancing. The reason for that is most people are very reluctant to give feedback, and a lot of people also um, do not, the feedback that they give are not something you can build on. So they're not detailed enough, and that creates a very ambiguous situation with the leader or the follower being unable to understand what the mistake was, and especially, most importantly, how to fix it. So we want to do as much work as we can before we get to a stage where either the person, out of politeness, they don't say anything until they get hurt, and then they either never dance with you again, or they say something, or before even before even they say something that is might be hurtful to you as a comment, or might not be um, really helpful. So as a as feedback, we can't fix the feedback that other people give you, but we can fix our awareness. So even with mediocre type of feedback, you can get the idea. It's like, oh, okay, I think I understand what this person means because I have been working on XYZ, and now I see how that work reflects to my relationship, to my embrace with this other person, right? So still, you can't control the other person's feedback. You can't control if they're gonna like your embrace or not, but at least you have a better, more actually, more tools to understand the message and use it to your benefit. So we are going to be working, building up from where we left off last time. And then the video that's coming after that, I mean, it is actually going to be a video with our partner. So look out for that one. So have fun, enjoy, and don't forget to send me any questions and feedback that you might have, light bulb moments, and so on and so forth. Have fun. We're going to start exploring the connection between the lower and the upper body, especially with how the power coming from the legs can transmit through the body to the hands. So comfortably, and then push yourself, give yourself a little bit of a push, a little bit of momentum, and transfer over. Notice here how, as it's going by, I'm becoming more and more smooth, more and more soft in that position. See here how my body is more relaxed compared to the first part. We're going to try the same thing with our leg extended. So this is going to be a little bit more challenging. Imagine like you're in a side step, for example. Sit comfortably, take a moment, and go. So notice here how my body relaxes, and then go back and go. So you want to be able to find that relaxation where your body can rest, and you can feel that you're yielding through the arms and you're not pressing away. There's a big difference. You'll notice the difference in my movement as the reps are as I'm going through the exercise. So here is a lot calmer, and I'm more confident, and so on and so forth. Notice now when I'm going to change sides, it's going to take me a little bit of time to, find that same flow, right? See? And then I need to take a breath and relax and absorb. So that's where we want to be. That last part, when you saw that change, that's where we want to be. Notice now how, as I'm going through this exercise, there's going to be a more gentle transition. Notice the connection between the two legs. You see the difference now? It's starting to get there. So the free leg is not just dead weight, it's helping the other side by turning. Maybe you're not pushing up, but you are turning the leg in the hip, turning the hip around the leg, making the two hips work together and making your way up. See how much smoother now this is. Notice the difference and try to find it in your body. You get there and done. I don't need that extra time to find it. Now we're going to do it with the leg extended back, and I want you to find an extension in the body and then pull yourself back. Take a moment to find your balance and transfer forward. Bring the leg in. Let the spine curve so you can actually bring the knee as close as you can and swing it back. Extend the spine and go. So we want a upper and lower body connection. Notice, take your focus now in my hands. Notice that I'm not pushing intensely away from the floor. I'm more, there is a little, there is energy in the hands, but there's no really strong push. There's more of a slide, let's put it that way. So there's more of a slide. There's not too much pull from the leg, because that can also cause problems. And this is going to be your back step, right? So you want to find, when you are in a dance, these connections. You want to be able to connect the dots from your legs all the way up into the hands, so you do not find yourself in hurting positions. For example, when you take a back step, sometimes you overarch, or sometimes you don't arch enough and then your partner ends up stepping on you. Sometimes you use the hands too much, you push away, and that is very intense for your partner, and so on and so forth. So before we reach that spot, we want to practice these things here. So go at your pace. Notice the differences from one side to the other. You see, here I have a trouble with my hip. I'm just seeing it now in the video. So things like that will happen. One side will be more flexible, more strong, more aligned. You might need to take a break and go back into it. But whichever the case may be, try to connect the dots. Try to notice how things are working together. So find it, take a moment at the spot that doesn't feel good, and then carry on again. So here too, you'll notice that as I'm going through the exercise, I'm getting more confident and the flow starts coming in. I make some adjustments and I keep on going. So the two, for me, most important things that you want to find is the yielding feeling. So you're not letting go, but you're not pushing away intensely, but you yield through the arms. You reach for that connection into the floor. And then connecting the dots from your toes all the way up to the crown of your head. And then from one leg to the other, from one hip to the other, from one hand to the other, from one hand to the chest, from your tailbone all the way out to the center of your forehead. And your body, basically, front and back, right and left, up and down and all around. So that should be your focus. Moving on to something a little bit more, maybe a little bit more challenging. So take your hips up to a downward dog and find that meeting of the two energies from the hands and from the feet. Walk your way up and notice here how my body is moving to make that connection. Connect your hands to your shins, maybe higher, maybe lower than me, and make them work together to lift your body, to help with that lift. So when you're gonna go back down, notice my feet. What are they doing? There's a little bit of a pulse. You see that? And then you can see that same pulse in the middle of my body. You can see that same pulse into my hands. And when I reach that point of the downward dog, I rest. And some of us will be more flexible or less flexible. So you find your spot. And then with the same pulse, you make your way back. So you want that pulse, you want that gentle flow to lead you through the exercise and to allow you to connect the two ends, let's put it that way. Repeat it as many times as you feel that you need to. Maybe it's a very small downward dog, just enough to give you a feeling of how the two are connecting. Or maybe it's a bigger one. You find your spot. There are many ways to connect. There are many things that you can take your mind to. It could be your breath. It could be the spine. It could be that pulse. It could be the head, the brain, the heart. It could be your feet. Are they rolling? Are they going inward and outward? It's a little extra bonus tip. It could be your ribs. It could be anything. It could be the blood itself, how it feels when you're creating that pulse into the legs. So you can get really experimental with this, but whichever the case may be, no matter how internal you want to go or how external you want to go, feel that connection. Feel how you connect to the floor, because is your partner, and you can transfer the details into the partner work afterwards. Okay, what is it that we're doing here? We're taking that same pulse from the feet up into the arms. So maybe you're going to be going faster than me, or maybe you're going to be going slower than me. That does not matter. What matters is that you create a pulse, right? So you start the movement from your feet and you take it all the way up, and try as much as possible to activate, to give energy all the way out to your fingertips. So we're trying to make to make some sense of what what the embrace is, what it looks like. So exaggerate here so you can actually feel these details, these fine details, and then notice what the arms are doing when you're trying to go in your embrace. They're doing this, and they're also doing this, right? So, and there's a little bit of a, lift at the end. So if you try to identify these patterns that you find in your embrace, then you practice these patterns separately, and then you practice these patterns bringing the arms in an embrace. So still exaggerated, because remember, you're all alone here, nobody else in the room. So really give it energy, give it power, and go. From the legs, through the body, into the arms. I'm just turning here so you can see me a little bit better. Notice the notice the extra curves on my sweater. So when you come down and your arms are by your side, notice that my chest is facing forward, right? And then let's see what happens. See, my chest is also slightly turning, very little. And then it comes back to center. You will notice this if you really engage the arms. There's a slight turn, very, very slight turn in the bodies of the leader and the follower. So as they come together, they create the perfect match. And that is because the body wants to follow the arms and make that embrace more comfortable, more efficient. So the arms are not fighting the body, and the body is not fighting the arms. So bigger view for us to go into the floor and in an embrace. So in a very similar way, but without the extra thump. Press into the floor, take the energy from the floor, yield, lift the arms. So this is it, guys. Our second attempt to connect to what's happening in the whole body. So we have a better awareness of how our arms are connected through movement, but also through structure with the rest of our body. And this way, hopefully, we will either be able to deal with any trouble we have before we connect to our partner, or we can make much better use of their feedback. So try it out. You can make it as intense as I did. It wasn't very intense, or more intense if you're not feeling the power, and then tone it down a lot. So you might want to exaggerate it more, so then it's more obvious to you. So go with how you feel. Don't hurt yourselves, and then tone it down and get into your tango posture and embrace. So really feel that you are not hugging someone, but you're bringing the arms in, and they're alive. They're participating in the dance. They're not just there to follow or lead or just transmit the message. They're part of this dance, and they're a vital part of this dance. So make it part of your practice, make it part of your dance. Really enjoy how the energy feels when it goes through your arms, and that will be transmitted to your partners as well. So I hope you'll have fun, and I'll be back for more.